Poetic Heathen. Hello, my name is Theo, and I am the Poetic Heathen. So, I've been missing for a while. um, it's probably been like a good 6 months or so now, I guess. I don't know, haven't really been counting. Um, I basically just want to talk about where I've been, what I've been doing during that time, and a little bit about something else, but we'll get to that. So, I've been struggling with my health. It's nothing serious, nothing serious. I've got nasty infections in my legs. I have cellulitis, and it became nastily infected. So I've been fighting with that, trying to fight off infection and stuff. Sorry, I also have a bit of cough at the moment, bit of cold. That came back. Yeah, I've not been doing too great health-wise. I've also dealt with a little bit of loss. One of my cats, unfortunately, got hit by a car, passed away. My mum lost her dog, Freddie. And someone who, a vicar who I did a little bit of interfaith work with. He's found a new place to be assigned. He's moving to Salford. So I actually really got on with him and was quite upset by it because it was nice having someone who, upon the first thing of finding out I'm pagan, didn't immediately try and convert me back to Christianity. Especially when I have my own solid and specific reasons for no longer following the Christian path. So yeah, I've been kind of bummed out by that, which affected me mentally, kind of dragged me down a bit. I also have anemia at the moment. I've been having lots of tests, constantly in and out of hospital, trying to find out what's causing it. They have been looking for cancer, but haven't found any, so that's good. They have found out that I have a sliding hiatus hernia. Basically, the diaphragm, as well as being like a muscle that expands and contracts to help us breathe, it also holds down the stomach. And basically, with a sliding hiatus hernia, my stomach is basically pushing through my diaphragm. Which explains why every so often I get heartburn and indigestion really badly. And also, sorry, my leg's a bit itchy. And also why I end up coughing a lot. It's because my stomach is poking through the diaphragm and I'm struggling to breathe, and it ends up making me cough. So, yeah, that's a whole load of things that I've had going. I've also been a little bit busy with work. I had gone back to work, almost back to a full-time basis, but recently I've gone back down to 3 days a week work. Considering my health, I mean, for those that don't know, my job is nighttime security. It involves a lot of walking around, and when you got legs like mine, not ideal. So yeah, on brighter notes, back in August, I attended Hell's Moot, a heathen gathering, the Great Heathen Gathering, organised by Asatru UK, an inclusive heathenry group that organises events across the UK and get-togethers. And yeah, that was quite an enjoyable experience. And my mum actually came along this time as well, which I was a little nervous at first because A, my mum's Christian. B, I know that there's quite a lot of people with religious trauma from Christianity within heathenry. We seem to like pick up all the refugees, as it were, from religious trauma. And it was Hell's Moot, so raising a god post to the goddess Hel, and those of you who know about the goddess Hel, you know that it's probably not the sort of deity you would want to introduce somebody into a heathen community with. There's lots of controversy around her, but even so, it can be quite heavy going, even if you do have an inclusive, welcoming opinion, like I and many of the other people there do, where you see her more as a caretaker rather than this goddess of death and daughter of Loki and evil. I don't believe that she's evil one bit myself, but there are people out there that see her as evil. So, yeah, that was something, but she absolutely loved it there. And we also went to talk about extremism within heathenry and how to counter it and things, which was very informative. Organised by Andy Pardy. Yeah, that was very informative, very interesting chat, and something which is actually quite close to my heart because I've helped people which have been victims of like this sort of behavior in these sorts of groups, and it's not a good time for anybody. So, if there was one workshop that I was desperate to go to that weekend, it was that one. So yeah, that was very interesting, and it kind of made my mum realise as well that how desperate our situation can be at times, I suppose you could say, how troubling things can be, and I think it also kind of made her realise that she's actually in good company there as well, and she became a lot more relaxed at the moot with it. I remember she was telling her friends that she has mobility problems because her spine's sort of like compressed and I think misaligned or something. And there was this really rickety bridge. For safety reasons, they were saying like one across at a time. But because of my mum and mobility problems, she was there approaching this bridge, and then she's been going around telling everybody that all of a sudden she had these like two great burly Vikings with massive beards and bulging muscles and everything suddenly like holding her, helping her across this bridge. Oh dear. It is a great community. I am proud to be a supporter of Vassal UK. If I had my own transport and everything and I had the chance, I would love to become a proper member of Vassal UK. But with life and everything at the moment, might be an issue. It's like I wish I could do more with the Pagan Federation as well, but once again, everything in my own life at the moment, bit of a struggle. Which brings me round to something else. For those of you that don't quite know me so well, complex post-traumatic stress disorder is a big factor in my life and has led to many struggles in my life as well. So, yeah, I battle with it most days. There are periods where it doesn't affect me whatsoever, and I get to live my life happy. Yay! But around middle of August to like end of November, sometimes it goes on a little bit later. Really bad time for me because it's like that sort of anniversary period of what happened. And yeah, I struggle from time to time, and I can be very sleepless, restless, on edge. It has gotten better over the years because I've learned how to cope with it better and talk about it more and confront these demons. But you know, when you have dreams reliving what happened, it knocks you back a fair bit. There are some nights when I realise that I'm having this flashback dream and it's kind of like, well, here we go again, sort of thing, and I can kind of brush it off. But there are other nights where it's like, you know, I kind of wake up in sort of a shock and like, holy fucking shit, that was intense. Which leads me on to something else that I've been doing recently, and that is I have been doing a lot of shadow work. Now, there are annoyingly a lot of fluffy bunny occultists and witches out there which are like, oh darling, do your shadow work, do your shadow work, do your shadow work, things will improve. It's like, oh, just do a little bit of shadow work. It's like, write down your feelings in a journal. It's like, not really what shadow work is. So shadow work was a psychological therapy theory thing developed by Carl Jung. And it's basically exploring the self and accepting the self. And it's delving deep, deep, deep into those places you probably don't necessarily want to go. A lot of therapists and psychiatrists do it these days. Actually utilize it these days in their sessions. Maybe not quite to the extreme of full-on shadow work, but they do get to people to openly speak about their experiences and confront them. Because let me tell you, shadow work is fucking intense. Like, when you do it properly, it is intense as fuck, and I'll warn you now, it will mess you up. Like, if you're like me and you have PTSD or whatever, or bipolar, or you have other traumatic issues, don't do it alone. Do not do it alone, because it will fuck you up. Sorry about the language in this video. I'm being rather transparent here with who I am. So you will get the unfiltered me in this video. I do apologize. So yeah, where do I start with this? So it isn't so much looking at you as like, oh yeah, I got angry. Got angry at that waitress at McDonald's because she bought me the wrong order. You know, I got angry at the dude in front of me because he didn't indicate left when he was going to turn left, and I was wondering why the fuck he was slowing down in front of me. You know, things like that. What shadow work is you take those situations and you look at yourself in those situations, like deep at yourself, because a lot of things, when we feel negative emotion, we always project it onto someone else or something else, like with the McDonald's. Oh, I was angry because she bought me the wrong order. That's projecting. You need to look at yourself in these situations and question, like, well, what about the waitress bringing me the wrong order made me make me feel so angry? Why was I so angry at that? You know, why was I so angry just because the person didn't indicate left when he was slowing down in front of me and going to turn? It's a deeper analysis of the situation, and instead of projecting everything onto them, say, the cause of your feelings or whatnot, it's why did that cause make you feel the way you did? And there are tons of things within this. Like, it could relate to your past. Like, with me, a lot of my anger is I can look at this situation and I realize it reminds me of bad things in my past. And I get defensive about it. So, person bringing me wrong order. It's an example I use, so I'm gonna just utilize it. The person bringing me the wrong order of McDonald's made me feel angry. The reason why I felt angry was I felt vulnerable as I have been giving the wrong thing in my past, and I was accused of stealing, and I had to serve time, whatever, even though it wasn't my fault, or something like that. I didn't know, like, with the car indicating and everything. I got angry at that guy for not indicating when he was slowing down in front of me wanting to turn left. Because um, there is a time in my past when somebody didn't indicate in front of me. I didn't notice them slowing down because their brake lights were out or something, and I ended up in an accident, something like that. Um, those examples kind of lead me on to another part of the shadow work, which is understanding that any negative reaction you have has a positive meaning behind it. Now, I know that may sound weird, but basically I'm saying that in those two examples, they were defensive. They were to like stop harm coming to you, stop you getting in trouble, for whatever reason. When you feel really down and you sort of dragging yourself out of bed and slowly getting changed into your work uniform and everything because you really don't want to go to work today and you just can't be bothered or anything. The positive meaning or intent, as it were, behind that is, I guess, on a primordial level, you could say it's fear. Because you know what the work entails. You know what you have to do today, but you don't want to do it. And in a way, it's like the fear of having to do that work. So it's like the procrastination and everything, and the not wanting to go to work is basically your body reacting to that situation, trying to protect you from having to go through all that nonsense of work. Looking at how that course of making you angry was making you angry, and also knowing that there's actually a positive reason behind your negative feelings. And when you put it all together, the final conclusion of it all isn't about overcoming these emotions as such, overcoming these feelings, overcoming these reactions. It's more about accepting they're a part of you. I hate it when I get angry. I get angry a lot. Mostly related to my past and protecting myself from repeat instances and everything. I get angry. My faith as a pagan has actually really helped me with that. But there are still some instances where I feel like there's injustice or whatever, where I will lash out. And unfairness, where I will lash out. I've got to learn that it's a part of me. It's not very nice when I get angry or when I fall out with people. But it's also who I am. It's what I do. And as long as it's not a constant thing, as long as it's not like a daily or even weekly occurrence, it's okay to be like that every so often. At the end of the day, it's human nature. And by understanding my past, I understand how I am in the present. And I understand why these negative feelings come about from these situations. Another thing related to that is self-projection. You don't like somebody doing something because it's basically what you do. There's a reason in this world they say opposites attract. Is because opposites tend not to fall out as much. Contradictory sounding, I know. But hear me out. I have a friend. She's a very close friend of mine, or I consider her close. She might not consider me as close as she once did because we have fallen out a few times. Each time I've fallen out with them, it's because, like, I felt I was being treated unfairly, or she thought she was being treated unfairly. They wanted to spend time with their friends, I wanted to spend time with my friends, sort of thing. A lot of these situations, when we've fallen out, and I look back at why I was angry and everything, I actually stop and reflect on myself, and it's like, holy shit, why am I so angry at her and everything? That's like literally the sort of thing I would do. Or literally the sort of thing I've done in the past. Is that I'm no better. I've done the same thing. I have no right to be angry at them or to have fallen out with them because I am just as guilty of doing it. There was a period where I felt like I was being ignored and not being treated fairly. I got super pissed off, confronted them about it. We fell out because, well, they have their own problems and it was affecting them as well. And it just balled up, became too much. And so we fell out and stopped talking. But when I reflected and everything, looked back, it's like, I know they're going through a lot of shit at the moment and everything. And you know what? There's times when I want to lock myself away. Self-reflecting and being like, holy fucking shit, I am exactly the same. And every little thing that we've argued about, fallen out over, and disagreed on, once I've calmed down and everything, I've reflected afterwards and it's like, holy shit, I'm exactly the same. What? Why am I even mad at them? I know that we have a lot of similar tastes in things and similar interests in everything and similar humors, but at times we are a little bit too similar, and that's when we clash. Admittedly, I am very, very protective of her. I everybody they talked to with suspicion. Because I know a lot of things about their past and I worry about them. They are like a sister to me. I remember there was once when I was talking to somebody. They saw I was talking to somebody, and they sort of left a passive aggressive comment. It was like that really British passive aggressiveness. Oh, hey, Theo's found a friend. Looks like Theo's found a friend. But it came across like passive aggressive, and they were sort of like. For a few days after that, they were acting different. They were acting weird, especially when I started talking to this person and this person would show up. They were acting different. And, I wanted to call them out on it. It's like, why are you behaving like this? And then I remembered. I stopped, I self-reflected, and I realized I can't say anything because I react exactly the same way when they start talking to somebody new and hanging around a lot more with somebody new and everything. I act exactly the same. It's a negative reaction to have, but deep down, it actually comes from the heart. It comes from a place where I am protective of them. It comes from a place of good intention, but it's not the proper way to go about things. So yeah, that's basically what shadow work is. It's accepting who you are, understanding the actual reason why you feel the way you feel about things, knowing that the cause of your emotions aren't the actual cause, and there's often an underlying reason. And despite how negative these reactions and everything may be at first, they do come from a place of positive intent. And also self-reflection. How we tend to self-reflect and not like things because those things are similar to how we are. So yeah, that's basically where I've been, what I've been doing. All comes down to mentally I've not been in the best place to be doing videos and stuff and be like, hey, I have this fantastic other poem for you today, or hey, let's continue the Havamal, which I realise I've only actually done one part of the Havamal, and I really need to get on top of that. But yeah. Anyway, without further ado, if you're interested in poetry and heathen content, please consider subscribing to the channel and give this video a like just to, help spread the word of what the F I've been up to. I mean, to be honest, this video I'm not too bothered if it gets likes or not, because it's a little bit heavy. Yeah, just wanted to make sure you were all filled in. And of course, until next time, from me, Theo, the Poetic Heathen. Take care out there, and, well, try and live good, happy lives.